right? And coming to the directivity of half wave dipole, the procedure is same, right? And we know that the relationship between directivity and beam area, D is equal to 4 pi by beam area, right? So what is beam area? Beam area is equal to double integral, this one, this equation, right? So double integral normalized power pattern d ohm, right? Normalized power pattern d ohm. And what is normalized power pattern? Normalized power pattern is power pattern divided by its maximum value, right? Power pattern divided by its maximum value, right? And what is power pattern? Power pattern in the sense pointing vector p theta comma pi is equal to e theta cross h pi, right? E theta cross h pi, magnitudes. E theta, magnitude of theta component of electric field, and magnitude of pi component of magnetic field. E theta cross h pi, right? So theta and pi. Why? Because we are determining directivity in far field region, and as we know that in far field region only theta and pi component will be present. So therefore theta component of electric field and pi component of magnetic field are substituted here, right? And this can be written like this: E theta square divided by eta, right? Because we know that the relationship between electric field and magnetic field is given by eta is equal to E theta by h pi, and from this h pi is equal to E theta by eta, and substituting here E theta square by eta, right? And what is E theta here? The difference comes here, right? For short dipole, E theta is different, and for half wave dipole, E theta is different. This is the E theta, right? So E theta is equal to magnitude of E theta is equal to 60 Im by r cos pi by 2 cos theta divided by sin theta, right? So if you substitute this, what will get? Sin Im by r, right, square, not square in the sense 60 square Im square r square by eta cos square pi by 2 cos theta divided by sin square theta. So this is what you will get, right? If you substitute E theta here, right, and squaring it, and you will get here, you will get this one, right? So this is nothing but the pointing vector p theta comma pi, right? To determine normalized power, what we require? We require maximum value of this. So what is the maximum value of this? Maximum value of this is equal to, so what is maximum value? Maximum value of this one is this term, right? Maximum value of this term is 1, right? Maximum value of this term is 1 because cos maximum value is 1 and the sin maximum value is 1. So therefore maximum value of this term is 1, and we are left with what? This one, right? So 60 square, right, that is 3600 Im square divided by r square eta. So this is the maximum value, right? So therefore normalized power pattern. So what is normalized power pattern? This is equal to this one, and let us say this is equation 1, right? And this is equation 2, right? So therefore equation 1 by equation 2 is nothing but the normalized power pattern. So therefore what will get here? Cos square pi by 2 cos theta divided by sin square theta. So this is what you will get, normalized power pattern. This one you will get, right? So Pn theta comma pi is equal to cos square pi by 2 cos theta by sin square theta, right? So this is what you will get, right? So therefore once you know the normalized power, you can substitute here, right? You can substitute in this equation, right? Substitute in this equation, right? And integrating, you will get beam area, right? Let me scroll down. right? So substituting that, what will get? Beam area is equal to integral theta limits and pi limits cos square pi by 2 cos theta divided by sine square theta d ohm in the sense sine theta d theta d pi, right? And theta is equal to 0 to pi and pi is equal to 0 to 2 pi, right? And integrating, right? Integrating with respect here, this sign and one sign will get cancelled, right? So integrating with respect to pi, what will get? Integrating with respect to pi, you will get 2 pi, right? Integrating with respect to pi and substitute the limits, you will get 2 pi, and we are left with theta. Theta is equal to 0 to pi, right? Sine square pi by 2 cos theta divided by sine theta d theta. Right, so this is what we are left with. Right, and I will write once again here. So beam area is equal to 2 pi integral theta is equal to 0 to pi sine square pi by 2 cos theta divided by sine theta d theta, right? So this is what we'll get, and integrating with respect to theta, this one, right? Integrating with respect to theta, substitute the limits, you will get 2 pi into 1.219, right? So integrating this with respect to theta and substitute the limits and simplify, you will get 1.219, right? So earlier while discussing radiation distance, right, while discussing radiation distance of a half wave dipole, there I have given, right, there I have given this value, right, which is 1.219, the same value I have written here, right? And if you simplify here, simplify this, so simplifying this, what will get? It is around let me calculate this. Right, so I'm taking the calculator. 2 into pi into 1.219, and which will get 7.66 you will get, right? 7.66 you will get. I have calculated on behalf of you 7.66 meter square, right? Beam area meter square. So this you will get 7.66 you will get. If we know beam area, we can determine the directivity, right? So what is directivity? D is equal to 4 pi by beam area, and this is equal to 7.66 divided by sorry, and this is equal to 4 pi divided by 7.66, right? 4 pi divided by 7.66, this you will get, right? And if you calculate this, it is around 1.61, I think so. Again, let me calculate this. Into 4 pi, 1.64 you will get. 1.64 you will get, when calculating this, right? 1.64 you will get, right? So therefore the directivity, right, directivity of a half wave dipole is 1.64, right? What is the directivity of short dipole? directivity of short dipole is 1.5, and whereas directivity of half wave dipole is 1.64, right? And in dB, right, in dB is equal to 10 log 1.64, and you'll get around 2.15 dB, right? 2.15 dB. So this you will get. So this is the directivity of a half wave dipole, right? And while comparing the directivity of short dipole, right, directivity of short dipole is equal to 1.5, which is less than the directivity of half wave dipole, and which is equal to 1.64, right? So directivity of short dipole is 1.5, which we have derived earlier, and whereas the directivity of half wave dipole is equal to 1.64. So therefore the directivity of half wave dipole is greater than the directivity of short dipole, right? The same thing we have seen while drawing the radiation pattern, right? So earlier I have drawn the radiation pattern of short dipole and half wave dipole, superimposing those two, right? So let me go back to show you the radiation pattern. Right, so this one. So this is the radiation pattern, right, of a short dipole and as well as half wave dipole, right? So red dotted lines, right? Red dotted lines is the radiation pattern of short dipole, and whereas the blue line, right? Blue line is radiation pattern of half wave dipole, right? What is the difference between these two? The beam width, right? The beam width is different. The beam width of half wave dipole is less compared with the beam width of short dipole, right? The beam width of half wave dipole is less compared with the beam width of half wave dipole, right? So that means what? The directivity of half wave dipole is greater than the directivity of short dipole, right? Because we know that the directivity is inversely proportional to beam area, right? So less is the beam area, more is the directivity. The beam area of half wave dipole is less compared with the beam area of short dipole. So therefore the directivity of half wave dipole is greater than the directivity of short dipole, right? So this is what we have discussed. Right? Therefore, the directivity of half wave dipole, which is 1.64, right? So 1.64, and in dB it is 2.15 dB, right? 2.15 dB, right? So this is how we can determine directivity, right? So same procedure we have followed, right? So there is no a separate procedure to determine radiation resistance or directivity or beam area, right? Whatever it may be, right? So the procedure is same, right? And one more thing, once we know, right, once we know directivity, we can determine effective aperture, right? Once we know directivity, we can determine effective aperture. So maximum effective aperture, right? Maximum effective aperture is equal to, we know the relationship between effective aperture and directivity, right? So Ae max is equal to lambda square by 4 pi into d, and this is equal to lambda square by 4 pi into directivity. So directivity is 1.64, and this is equal to 0.113 lambda square you will get, right? So effective aperture. So this is the effective aperture of a half wave dipole, right? So what is the effective aperture of short dipole? Effective aperture of short dipole is 0.119 lambda square, right? So 0.119 lambda square. So this is what we have derived earlier, right? But whereas the effective aperture of a half wave dipole is 0.113 lambda square, right? So this is how we can determine directivity, beam area, effective aperture, all those values we can determine, and the procedure is same to all antennas, right? Procedure is same, right? With this we have completed a half wave dipole, right? So with respect to half wave dipole, we have discussed everything. Just a minute, screen sharing is stopped. Once again I will share it. Right. Right. So therefore, with respect to half wave dipole, number one, what we have discussed, radiating fields. Radiating fields of a half wave dipole, right? And second one, we have discussed the radiation resistance, right? Radiation resistance, and which is equal to 73 ohms, right? We have derived the radiation resistance of a half wave dipole, which is very important, right? And then beam area, right? Beam area, we have determined the beam area, right? And from beam area, fourth one, we have determined the directivity, which is equal to 1.64, and this one is 7.66, right? And directivity is 1.64 or 2.15 dB, and fifth one, effective aperture, right? Maximum effective aperture is equal to 0.113 lambda square, right? Just a minute, I will check whether the effective aperture is 0.113 or something else, that I will verify. I will cross check, right? Because I have a doubt on it. Divided by 4 divided by 5. Yes, 1.33. 0.13. Four into 5. 4 into 5 is is equal to multiplied with 1.64, so 0.13. Right? So maximum effective aperture, it is not 0.113, it is 0.13, and so 0.13 lambda square. Right? So you just make a note of it, 0.13 lambda square. Right? So 0.13 lambda square. So this you will get, right? Not 0.113 to 0.13 lambda square, right? So with this we have completed a half wave dipole, right? And let us move on to a quarter wave monopole. The next topic is quarter wave monopole, right? And one thing I just want to remember you with respect to quarter wave monopole and um, half wave dipole. The radiating fields are same, right? The radiating fields are same, right? Why? Because let me compare half wave dipole and quarter wave monopole, right? So this is half wave dipole, right? So this is half wave dipole, whose length is lambda by 2, right? Whose length is lambda by 2. This is half wave dipole, half wave dipole, right? In other words, half wave dipole is symmetrical structure, right? Half wave dipole is symmetrical structure with respect to the center. So this is the center axis. So this is the center axis. So with respect to center, half wave dipole is symmetric in its structure. So that means what? This is lambda by 4, right? And this one is lambda by 4, right? Symmetric structure, half wave dipole. So now, what is quarter wave monopole? Quarter wave in the sense lambda by 4, right? So therefore, lambda by 4 is this one. So this is lambda by 4, the length, right? So this length is lambda by 4, right? That means half, right? Half of the half wave dipole, half structure, right? If you bisect this, right? If you bisect a half wave dipole, right? And then that is nothing but quarter wave monopole, right? Quarter wave, right? Monopole. That means lambda by 4, and half wave dipole in the sense lambda by 2, right? So this is the difference between half wave dipole and quarter wave monopole, right? So therefore, coming to the radiating fields of quarter wave monopole, radiating fields of quarter wave monopole and radiating fields of half wave dipole, they are same, right? E theta and h pi, right? You can consider, so here the average power, you can consider the same, right? You can consider the same, right? The only thing is it is half, right? The only thing is it is even in the radiation pattern also. What is the radiation pattern of half wave dipole? Let me draw here. This is 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees, right? And let us say this is the dipole, right? Horizontally oriented here. This is the dipole. And what is the radiation pattern? This is the radiation pattern. As we know that radiation pattern is perpendicular to the axis of the dipole, right? In other words, along 90 degrees or 270 degrees. So this is the radiation pattern of half a dipole. Now, what is the radiation pattern of quarter wave monopole? Radiation pattern of quarter wave monopole is given by like this. So this is the radiation pattern of quarter wave monopole. right? This is the radiation pattern of quarter wave monopole. That means half, right? Only considering the half structure, right? Half structure of the half wave dipole, and that is nothing but the radiation pattern of a quarter wave monopole, right? So radiation pattern of half wave dipole is this one, and radiation pattern of quarter wave monopole is the half of the radiation pattern of half wave dipole, right? And coming to the radiation resistance of a quarter wave monopole, it is not monopole, it is not dipole, it is monopole, right? So monopole, right? So coming to the radiation resistance, right? Derivation of radiation resistance of monopole, quarter wave monopole. See here, I have copied the derivation of half wave dipole directly here, right? So just to explain the difference, right? So same average power is same, right? And radiated power. So this is the expression for radiated power, right? And let us say this is equation 1 and this is equation 2, right? And this is the procedure what we have followed for half wave dipole, right? Average power we have calculated, we have substituted here, right? Average power, and simplifying this, right? Simplifying this, and this you will get, right? But whereas the only difference between half wave dipole and quarter wave monopole is power radiated, right? Power radiated is equal to double integral average power ds, right? Average power ds, right? And here theta is equal to 0 to pi and pi is equal to 0 to 2 pi, right? For a quarter wave monopole, theta is equal to 0 to pi by 2, right? Theta is equal to 0 to pi by 2. So this is only the difference between half wave dipole and quarter wave monopole, and rest of all the steps are same, right? So only difference, right? So you just make a note of it. The only difference between half wave dipole and quarter wave monopole is theta limits, right? Because quarter wave monopole is half of the half wave dipole. So therefore, theta for half wave dipole, theta is equal to 0 to pi, and for quarter wave monopole, theta is equal to 0 to pi by 2, right? That is only the difference, right? And if you do so, what will get here? WR is equal to, for half wave dipole, this one 60 IRMS square into 1.219, right? But whereas for quarter wave monopole, 60 IRMS square into 1.219 divided by 2, right? Divided by 2. That is only the difference. For half wave dipole, it is 1.219, and whereas for a quarter wave monopole, half of this 1.219 divided by 2, right? Because theta limits are 0 to pi by 2, right? So therefore here it is. So therefore WR, power radiated is equal to what will get, 30 into 1.219 IRMS square, right? So just a minute. Right? So this one. So let me write here. WR is equal to 30 into 1.219 IRMS square. So this is the power radiated. And what is the power at the input terminals of the antenna? IRMS square RR. So which is equal to IRMS square RR. Right? So because we know that power radiated by the antenna should be equal to the power at the input terminals of the antenna, right? So this is the power at the input terminals of the antenna, right? And this is the power radiated by the antenna. That means output of the transmitted antenna. So this is input and this is output. So power radiated should be equal to the power at the input terminals of the antenna. If you simplify this equation, you will get RR is equal to 36.5 ohms. So this is the radiation resistance of a half wave dipole, right? So what is the radiation resistance of a half wave dipole? 73 ohm, right? Radiation resistance of a half wave dipole is 73 ohm, but whereas the radiation resistance of a quarter wave monopole is 36.5, which is exactly half of 73 by 2, and this is the radiation resistance, right? And in a similar way, you can also determine the directivity, right? Same procedure, right? You can follow and um, you can determine, right? So what is the procedure to determine directivity? D is equal to 4 pi by beam area, and whereas beam area is equal to integral 0 to pi by 2, right? For half wave dipole 0 to pi, and for whereas quarter wave monopole 0 to pi by 2, and pi limits are same, 0 to 2 pi, right? Normalized power pattern, right? And d ohm. So what is normalized power pattern? P theta comma pi is equal to P theta comma pi divided by its maximum value, right? Its maximum value. And what is P theta comma pi? Which is pointing vector, right? And which is E theta cross H pi, right? E theta cross H pi, right? And which is equal to E theta square by eta, right? And what is E theta? E theta is equal to 60 Im by R cos pi by 2 cos theta by sin theta, right? So which is for half wave dipole, same half wave dipole E theta and quarter wave monopole E theta is same, right? And this is equal to, if you substitute that, is equal to 60 Im square R square, right? And cos square pi by 2 cos theta, and sine square theta, so on and so forth, divided by eta, right? This one. And maximum value is this is the maximum value, and substitute this here in this equation, and you will get, right? You will get normalized power P n theta comma pi is equal to cos square pi by 2 cos theta divided by sine square theta. So this is the normalized power, right? So once you know normalized power, we can determine beam area. So beam area is equal to integral cos square pi by 2 cos theta divided by sine square theta sin theta d theta d pi. Same steps I am writing here. The only difference is theta. Theta is equal to 0 to pi by 2, and pi is equal to 0 to 2 pi, right? And simplifying this, right? So simplifying this, you will get 4 pi, right? 4 pi into 1.219 by 2, right? 4 pi into 1.219 by 2, right? So this you will get, not 4 pi, it is 2 pi, right? So 2 pi into 1.219 by 2. So this you will get. So this is equal to, earlier we have determined 7.66 divided by 2, right? And if you know beam area, and we can determine directivity, and which is equal to 4 pi by 7.66 divided by 2 beam area, right? Beam area is half of that, right? And you will get the directivity, right? And let me calculate. .66 divided by 2 into 4 into pi, so 3.28, right? 3.28 we'll get 3.28. So directivity of quarter wave monopole is 3.28, right? So in dB you can calculate. In dB, 10 log 3.28, right? So you will get in dB, right? And once you know directivity, we can determine maximum effective aperture, and which is equal to lambda square by 4 pi into 3.28, right? Substituting this and simplify, you will get maximum effective aperture of quarter wave monopole, right? So all these procedures we have did for half wave dipole. So same steps, all are same steps. I have just repeated, right? So this is how we can determine the quarter wave monopole from half wave dipole, right? So with this we have completed quarter wave monopole also, right? So overall we have discussed the short dipole, right? And we have discussed half wave dipole, and we have discussed quarter wave monopole, right? With this, as per the syllabus, all thin wire antennas we have covered and we have completed, right? So with this, I will close today's session, and we will continue in the next class, right? So thank you very much for your patient listening. If you have any doubts, you can message me here in the chat box. You can message me here.